Hey, if you have a consultative sales process, you definitely want to watch this video because you might be making the same mistake that many of the entrepreneurs that I coach make. And I would hate for you to be leaving thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on the table because you're making this mistake. And it's one that many entrepreneurs make. So what I'm going to share with you is behind the scenes. I want to remove the curtain. I'm going to let you in over my shoulder, if you will. And I want to share with you during one of our hot seat group calls. So every month I do 2 calls a month with our Impact Mastery clients. And we did a group hot seat. And in this discussion comes up something. And I want you to listen to exactly what I share with the individual in this call. She brings up a great point, but I'm going to share with her what I use. And then when we come back, I'll share with you how you can take advantage of the same things that I'm using to increase your sales process.
Well, that's awesome. And then I calculate to myself, well, that's only like 3 new clients, except I haven't had 1 new client in like 2 months. So it just circles back. So
well, first off, it's a great awareness to the addiction of going and doing everything yourself. You're like, wait, I don't need to do that. I could give that to somebody else because it's not a very high income producing activity. I could go give it to somebody else and do that. I will say one other thing, and I would be happy to work with you through this because it would be another template example we could give out to the group as this continues to grow. But I feel like for what you do, Dan, like all of these and most of the people in here, most, not all, in fact, there's a couple that probably wouldn't be, most of us have a consultative sale process, okay?
yes.
And I would think with financials and all that, it would be as well. And so I have broke down the B.O.N.D sales script and I've dialed this in and I have it printed out. I mean, Elizabeth actually helped me scale it and make it look pretty and all that, but it's printed out and it's in front of me still every single time. And I don't mind sharing that with you and you could adapt it for your thing, but then that way you just practice it, run through it every day for 10 minutes. And then when you have that call, you pull it up and it's in front of you. And you walk through that, and there's a supplement to it, and this is what you should have. This is you would have a supplement of questions that you like. For me, I have the 23 secret weapons. Okay, so think about this. We could come up with this actually. You and I could brainstorm this. But here's the 23 secret weapons, which is, for example, a strategic marketing plan. Okay, so then what do? I need to ask you questions that basically your awareness is, I don't have a strategic marketing plan.
Right.
And then you go, you know what? First off, congratulations on how far you've come. This is amazing. But I could help you with the strategic marketing plan. We'll come back to that, but that's something I could help you with. And all I'm trying to do is get them to an awareness of 3 or 4 of those secret weapons they are without. Because now all of a sudden, right? They see a path through. They're like, I need that, I need that, and I need that.
Yeah.
So first off, I love the vulnerability of our group who they share and we're able to get ideas out of there. If you have a consultative sales process, one of the things I talked about was this supplemental document. But let me just step back for a second and share with you the B.O.N.D sales process. Just as an overview, I'll have a whole nother video where we go deep into the B.O.N.D sales process that we teach our coaching clients. But the key to this is that supplemental process, but that is in the demo proposal sales call that I'm actually giving. But prior to that, I want to just step back to how do I even get to that? And I call this the B.O.N.D sales process. So really there's 2 key points, right? You're going to use your own efforts of prospecting or dollars, leverage dollars to market to get leads, right? So however you get the attention of the lead, you get them in, and then you can bridge this gap. I love what Matt Easton talks about. We use it a little bit differently, but I've sort of looked at his idea where you share an idea or an insight with an individual and how are they dealing with this. So for me in coaching, I might say, hey, I want to share with you that 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs fail in the first 18 months because they don't understand how to generate a lead, how to close a sale, and how to fulfill properly to get repeat business. I'm just curious, how are you dealing with that? Because clearly you've been able to survive past 18 months. And it just starts the conversation. And I lead and bridge that to try to get to a demo or proposal. Now, that's not exactly the statement I use. I use something different, but just as an example. Whatever you need to do then to get to that demo or proposal. Once you're there in a consultative sales, the whole process is about asking questions, right? Getting them to an awareness of why they need your service. In fact, what I use is a system which I've talked about in a previous video. I use something called Fathom. It's an AI note taker. It records a video and it transcribes the call. And what I've been able to do is go back and watch my calls, take the script, plug it into ChatGPT, tell it where did I miss something, how could I make this script better, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. What I've realized over hundreds of sales calls over my career, actually probably thousands of sales calls over my career, is it's about asking questions. It's about listening. It's not about telling them. In fact, the best sales I've made, and most recently, I almost feel bad sometimes when I get off the call because I've not gone through every benefit or feature of our program. It doesn't matter. They're sold. They want the solution. They have a trust built. And I'm telling you, we live in a trust recession right now. So by you asking great questions, you're actually building trust. It's not by you selling the features and benefits. It's about you asking great questions. You're building trust and connection with them. So what I do is when I ask a question about a strategic piece of business that I know we can solve and help. So again, let's say you're like the individual in this call who's an accounting, controller, bookkeeper. You might ask questions about, so tell me about the software you use for your books. How do you keep your P&L up to date every month? And they may be like, well, I don't have a P&L. Oh, okay, right? Or they may say, well, I have a P&L, and now you want to go to these supplemental questions, these things that really dig in about, how much time is that taking you every month? If you could get those 5 hours a week back, 20 hours a month, what would that do for the business? Potentially, how much more business could you create? See, you're not just going to ask about the P&L or the software. You got to dig into the emotion and the thing and have them have a self-awareness that there's even a problem that exists, right? Because they're either become problem aware or solution aware. And most of the people you're talking to, they're not even problem aware. So you're going to help them understand there's a problem there. And then you're the solution. So then they become solution aware. So once you do the demo or proposal, again, not for this video, but for another video where we do our close, which is no pressure. And then we follow up on what's the next steps after that if we can't overcome the objections. So this is the B.O.N.D sales script. Again, B.O.N.D stands for build on a common interest, occupation exploration, which means I build on something in common. Tell me about your business. What are the needs? I need needs discovery. That's N. D is then we'll develop the opportunity. So many salespeople go into trying to sell and sell and sell. This is also why in a previous video, if you want to go back and look, I talked about 5 AI tools that save me time and help me make more money. And again, I can't talk enough about Fathom. But someday I'm sure there'll be a better system, but right now I use Fathom. And one of the things I really love about that is in real time, it will show me what percentage of the conversation I'm talking versus they're talking. Just as a point of reference, I try to keep my talking under 35% of the conversation. If they talk 65% or more, my sales go way up. If I'm talking more than 40%, I've just been able to study this, my sales go down. This is why I love that, because it shows me where I'm at in real time. So again, I hope this is helpful. If you've got a sales process or you want help with the sales process, or you're struggling somewhere with generating leads or your sales process, text my team to this number and just tell them you need help with sales or you need help with leads. And my team will respond back. We'll help send you some resources based on the questions that they'll ask you and where your needs are. Or they may book a 45-minute strategy call with you to see how we could help you level up your business.